G'day guys, welcome to today's video, episode 2 of the Zook build. In today's video, we're going to be installing the winch for the Zook. We've already done quite a bit of it. We're in the future now, so we'll be going back in time seeing what we've done. It is pretty good. I didn't like doing what I had to do to it, but you'll see, and it's all for the better good. So, we'll see how it goes. So you got the winch in, technically it fits. So got a little bit more cutting here and there just to make it easier putting it all together and all of that. So here she is. Got a nice big winch plate to go on the front of that too. So far, all that we've done is we've done all the cutting that we need to do. So this is the part I wasn't too happy about. We cut in the frame there. I totally forgot to record. It was a part that, again, we did not want to do. So it was kind of just done quickly. We had to actually cut the grill to fit the winch. This winch is way too big for the car, but it means I'm never going to get stuck. So we've done all the cutting, and so far we still need to do the wiring. As you can see, it's done here. I'll explain how it's done. We need to paint all of these little bits here that I've cut. We need to paint in here. Once we've painted in there, that's when we can start reinforcing the inside and all that to make sure that it's as strong as it once was. Yeah, so it's going to be pretty good. We'll keep going. Moving on to the wiring now. It was an absolute pain in the ass. So I did it off camera. I forgot to record it. The main issue I had with the Zook is on the cold side of the motor, where the exhaust isn't, it is very busy already. Not too much space for anything, especially with these aftermarket headlights, because just wires and stuff everywhere. So, stock jack that comes with the car, originally mounted on a plate right there. Cut the plate off, and it left me a really nice mounting point for the control box there. Easy to pull apart, easy to disassemble if we ever go through anything hectic. Then with the wiring, because it's so far over, the winch wires weren't long enough because the control side of the winch is on this side. Went to Super Cheap Auto, I do believe, yep. And these are battery leads. I can't remember exactly how long these ones are. They were about $37 each, had to buy 3 of them. And just some extra hardware that I had at home. I put them together, heat shrinked over it, and that's that. So it gave me an extra bit of length there. Just reaches. Only just reaches. But next issue I had was with the radiator here. I don't want these wires actually touching the radiator. Don't know if it gets too hot or not, but just in case. So Jack graciously donated some offcuts that he had from one of, I think he got these for his build. So those there just slip directly over. Zip tie that there, so when it goes over, you've got that there. The actual connector covers slip straight over the Super Cheap Auto wires and work just as normal. So it's pretty easy setup, pretty good. Obviously you want to match the right color to the right color wire. That will blow your winch up. And black wire, absolute pain in the butt. So that goes on the bottom of the winch. So I've pretty much got to squat with the bull bar and the winch, while Alicia quickly does that up. That runs through here, up under here, back over to the negative side of the battery. I now also need to upgrade the battery. I've already test run the winch once, and it killed the battery almost instantly. So got to charge that up before I can even start the car again. So we'll go on to whatever we're going on to next. See you there. Alright, sweeter. So now moving on to the painting and all of that. All we've got for that so far, some red paint. trying to use as little amount of this as possible on all of this. I'm going to try and mask up as much as I can so the paint difference doesn't look too bad. All of this is hidden by the winch and the license plate cover. This is just trying to protect the paint. We've waited, honestly, been probably a week now since I've done this, and everything is starting to get a tiny bit of surface rust. So I'm going to take a wire wheel around it all, just remove all that, and we use the black down here. And then I'm just going to quickly and very lazily just paint everything down here so it's looks somewhat neat for now. It's not going to last very long, but I can keep touching it up. And obviously the reds for all in here and along these lines here. We do have to pull this off, not too hard, a few bolts, and it clips off around that. We'll be using a bit of plastic around all of the stuff that we don't want red or black. So pretty simple. Yeah, it's just your usual painting. So we'll get to it. Pulling the grill off the car. Pretty simple. These screws have little washers on them, so try and be careful pulling them out. When you're pulling the grill off, don't just pull it straight out. There's little connectors in there, especially now that we've cut it, and they pop out. Probably won't work, but I am hoping that this will stop too much overspray from happening and messing with the different colour of the Raptor. I quite like the Raptor. Another thing that I'm going to try and use is a bit of a backboard for this. I'm not painting everything else behind it as well. Because yeah, we've got all this. Kind of a bit of Raptor coat on there, but never going to hurt it too bad. Now lots of shaking. Just trying to get whatever's going to be visible, possibly visible from the bull bar. Much coverage on that cut that I made as possible so that that's not going to continue to rust at all. And we'll move on to the next side. Last part before we end the day. The winch, we didn't record us putting that in. Quite a bit of a headache to get it all lined up. You got to have like a person holding it while you're screwing it in and holding the nuts in place. Only thing I can really mention, so this is the King's Dominator winch, I do believe. The red connector, if you put it in a Zook and you're wanting to cut as little as possible, I cut the bolt down just ever so slightly and it fits in there so much nicer. All you got to do for that is remove one of the nuts. So remove both the nuts, and put one nut on the bottom. It makes it a bit loose until everything's nice and tight. Once it's all nice and tight, it's not going nowhere. So it's all sturdy, a bit of a pain in the ass to get in there. Yeah, that's the winch. Alright, we're back. So everything's dry now. Just got to pull the tape off, pull the plastic bag off, and we're going to chuck the bull bar on. The upside side of the Zook. I would not be able to do what we're about to do with the moment. So the control box, just gotta plug this here in, close that up when you want. So if we're ever thinking about doing sketchy stuff, we'll just plug this in.
Run the cable through the window.
Right, so in today's episode of the Zook build, we've finished the winch, which is pretty good. All I've got to do for that is an isolation switch. And all that is just the switch running from the positive and the negative inside the cab, so that whenever I'm not using the winch, just daily driving, whatever I'm doing, I can switch the winch off. No accidents can happen, blah, 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 like that. Just got to tighten the bull bar actually up to the car, tighten all those bolts and all of that. But in the next episode of the Zook build, we'll be doing CB. This is the aerial I've got for it right now. I don't like it. So this is what come in the kit. This is what it gets. It's a proper Oricom, however you want to say it. It's a decent little radio. So I've already opened it up, pulled it apart. I kind of know what we're doing with it. This cute little radio. So they're not bad. But yeah, that will be in the next episode of the Zook build. See you guys there.